Hello from North Street, England. We hope everything's fine with you. Things are normal here. Tom got drunk last night because he drank too many tequilas. Claire spent a lot of money internet shopping yesterday, and when Jim found out, they had a big argument. And George's mum drank lots of tea. Something like 15 cups. Last time we looked at two questions, where and how do you go? Today, you're going to practice answering these questions. But first, let's look at some places. A park, a supermarket, a flower shop, a pub, a beach, a library, and ways to travel. I walk, I go by foot. She drives, she goes by car. They fly, they go by plane. She takes a taxi, she goes by taxi. He rides a bike, he goes by bike. You take the train, you go by train. They take a bus, they go by bus. Now we're ready for questions. Finally! Where does Tom often go in the evenings? He often goes to the pub. We know that he often goes to the pub. Sometimes he goes from work. How does he go to the pub then? He walks, he goes by foot. Tom usually goes to the pub in the evening. Where do you go? Possible answers. I also go to the pub sometimes. I go home. I go to night school. I go out with my friends. I go and see friends. I go to work. I work a night shift. I take my family out for dinner. I don't go anywhere. I stay home all day. Where does Claire go on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays? She goes to the flower shop. We know she goes to the flower shop on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. How does she go there? She walks. She goes by foot. Claire works in the flower shop. She goes in the morning and arrives at 9 o'clock. Where do you go on Tuesday mornings? Possible answers? I go to work. I go to school. I go to university. I take my children to school. I go to the library. I go to the park. I don't go anywhere. I stay at home. Where do some people go on holiday? They go to Rio. How do they go there? They fly. They go by plane. Some people go to Rio for their holidays. Where do you go? Possible answers. I go to Spain. I love the beaches there. We go camping. It's very cheap. I go back home to see my family. We go to Thailand. The food's fantastic. We go to the seaside. The kids love the beaches. We go to a city. We stay at home. We don't have enough money to go on holidays. Where does Lucy sometimes go after work? She sometimes goes to the library. How does she go there? She rides her bike. She cycles. She goes by bike. Where does Claire sometimes go? She sometimes goes to the supermarket. We know Claire sometimes goes to the supermarket. How does she go? She drives. She goes by car. Claire drives to the supermarket because she buys lots of things. How do you go to the supermarket? Possible answers. I walk. It's only around the corner. I go by foot. I go by bike because sometimes I buy a lot of things and it's easier that way. I ride my bike because there's nowhere I can park a car. I go by car because the nearest supermarket is a 30-minute drive away. I drive because I drive everywhere. Even though I live close to the supermarket, I drive. I have a big family and every time we go, we always buy a lot. Where does Jim sometimes take his kids on Sundays? He sometimes takes them to a park. How do they go? They go by bus. They take a bus. Where do Claire, Jim and their children sometimes go in the summertime? They go to the beach. How do they go? They go by train. How do you go to the beach? Possible answers. I walk. I live on the coast. I walk. I live next to the beach. I ride my bike. It's only 10 minutes away. I go by bike, though I have to ride 1 hour to get there. I drive. It's an hour drive. We go by car. We take the train. We live a long way from the closest beach. We fly. We live in Moscow and we're miles away from the coast. We don't go to the beach. It's boring. I don't go to the beach. I don't like it. I don't go to the beach. How do you go to school? Possible answers. I go by foot. It's not far. I walk with my friends. I go by bike. It's too far to walk. I go by car. My mum takes me. I go by train. My school's far away. I don't go to school. I'm 45. How do you go to work? Possible answers. I go by car. It's about a 20-minute drive. I drive. It's an hour drive. I drive because I need to go and see clients most days. I walk. It's only 10 minutes. I take the underground. The roads are too busy. I take the train. It's an hour, but it's more relaxing than driving. I go by bus. It's very convenient. I go by train. Have you ever tried to park a car in London? It's impossible. I don't go to work. I work at home. I don't have a job at the moment, so I don't go to work. I don't work at the moment. I study. I'm still studying, so I don't go to work. You've got lots of practice answering these 2 questions today. You're definitely better at them now than when you started. If you enjoy these videos, why not subscribe to our YouTube channel? Click the link, and wherever you're going later, go safely. It's Nighty Night from England.